Mord gameplay commentary. So this is a silver something, silver 2, silver 3 matchup between top lane Mordekaiser and top lane Darius. Something I always hate about gameplay is that they always are of games where sort of the commentating player's team absolutely stomps. And that's what this game's going to be. My bot side and I think my jungle are going to win very hard. And that does somewhat limit the usefulness of reviewing gameplay. However, there's something I really like about this, which is in the lane phase, we do not see any junglers. And when you don't see any junglers in the lane phase, you don't have to think as much about how jungle fetches the max up. So I wanted to talk about how I play the more Darius matchup, despite having no mechanical abilities and basically no practice of playing top lane. I was 5th pick blue side, and they saved their Darius pick for last. So this Darius was either this is a Darius main or this was a Darius counter pick into Mord. Mordekaiser is my preferred first pick top laner if I have to pick without being able to see what they're playing, because I think Mord is playable in most matchups, and especially at the sort of skill level I'm operating at. Using the ult to isolate a fed enemy carry in team fights is always a pretty high level of contribution. So as we get into lane phase, there's something very specific I do cognitively in the more Darius matchup, and that is try not to take damage. And that's basically all I do. You'll notice I'm taking a little bit more damage here, sort of in some early trades, as I'm remembering how I play out the lane. But what I realize, even by this point, you see how far back I'm playing here. Sort of my operating hypothesis in this lane phase is if I don't feed the Darius, I should win the game. I don't think Darius does anything unless Darius is ahead, and Mordekaiser can always press R. Neither of us is really a utility champion, but I provide a lot more utility than Darius. And if I have 0 gold or just passive gold income, I can, build a Zhonya's and stay in Death Realm with a Fed Master E. It's probably going to do more than a Darius without gold. Especially on this patch. This patch is right after the sort of huge AD carry and lethality buffs. I assumed I was going to have 2 lethality AD carries. The Jhin does go crit. I didn't really think it was going to be my responsibility to do damage this game. Probably no one's going to build armor, except maybe the Darius. And I'm sort of planning to remove the Darius from the game. So here early on, what I've done is by not hitting creeps and conceding every CS, I managed to get the wave pushing into me. And Darius, for some reason, backs to buy a longsword, which is sort of peak Darius behavior, I think. But most importantly, I'm not dead. I've played a lot of lanes into Darius, and oftentimes I will die level 1, 2, 3. And I got tired of doing that. So instead of doing that, I just concede the entire lane. I think the other way you can do that is you can get good and hands check or skill check the Darius. But I'm not about to do that. So I've been playing this game for 15 years and I've never beat a Darius in lane. So instead of doing that, I just give up every CS. Darius is zoning himself here, I think, due to my level advantage. He doesn't have to do that. He can definitely kill me, especially with Ghost. And so this is like an extremely precarious position I'm in here. This was a mistake. He should have been able to kill me there. I don't know why he didn't. A mistake that can be fixed by playing further back. Now, I just did something I really like and I want to point out, which is that I missed a cannon minion. You shouldn't miss cannon minions. But again, if we sort of go back to what is the overall theme for how I want to play this lane, how I want to play this lane out, it is don't die. And so if I don't die while missing cannon minions, that's not ideal, but I'm accomplishing my goal. I'm much less concerned about missing that cannon minion than taking that potentially losing trade with Darius. Because I think that potentially losing trade with Darius could have lost the game, and I don't think getting that cannon minion could have won the game. That extra gold income is not going to convert into a victory, either in lane phase or in the game as a whole. But if I give Darius 1 kill, gets enough XP advantage to have high enough base stats to survive a fight with the Graves or something, this can become a problem for me very quickly. So here I am, zoning myself off with creeps. because I don't want to lose. And I feel really good about this. This is how I've sort of reliably survived lane phases with Darius. Now, on my first back, I backed out exactly 800 gold to pick up a Bramble Vest. On Mord, sort of my preferred build path into Darius is I rush Bramble and Ninja Tabe based on when I'm able to recall. So there's good build paths on all of those. You can just stack Cloth Armors, you can finish Bramble, you can finish Tabis. Having the move speed's a little nice, especially into the Ghost matchup. So I backed now about Bramble Vest. I think my impression of Mord builds into Darius is you probably build Tabis, Thornmail, potentially Sunfire in the current Sunfire state. And then I only ever build Riftmaker on Mord. I have not been fond of Jock Show, personally. So that was my plan, and that's why I have the Amp Tome. I'm pretty sure I'm going to miss this cannon and take an unnecessary trade. This trade to me felt pretty okay. I was confident he couldn't kill me here. They did commit ult. I don't think I die there even if I don't level up. And I kill him there if he doesn't flash. Because I had Ignite. My impression when playing this Darius matchup is Darius definitely into that trade. I'm not going to say that didn't happen, right? Like, this gave me an enormous lane advantage. I'm still down 12 CS or something, right? But you don't pick Darius and not play that way. If you hide under your turret against a Darius, they will try to poke you under turret or dive you or something. And they basically have to do this for the exact reason I'm playing under turret, which is that a Darius that is not ahead will lose the game. And so if I stay under turret, Darius has to, like I can force the Darius come to me because of the nature of this matchup. So while I do think that was poorly executed, I don't think this Darius is playing significantly worse than me. I think this Darius is playing with a pick that is hard to win into my pick if I play this way. I believe I have the agency in this lane by playing conservatively and playing scared, which I love doing, to sort of deny this Darius any real possibility of winning. I did have to back and not buy basically anything there. Darius now has Merc Treads. I don't have any crowd control, so the tenacity is ultra low value into me. Just looking at these items, for example, right now, we have a Darius that has invested like 450 gold or something into tenacity, which has a 0 gold value. This lane matchup. And I have Bramble Vest. Darius only does basically 2 things, which is physical damage and healing. There is the true damage ult. I purchased the Bramble Vest at level 5, right? So my build path is significantly more efficient than the Darius's. And okay, let's watch this trade. So Darius once again decides to tower dive me for no reason. And this is unwinnable for Darius. I'm literally at full health. Okay, not literally at full health. Certainly over half health. I did burn Ignite there. I didn't have to. You can force the Darius to come into you, or force the Darius to rely on their side lanes winning, which you never count on that as a top laner. And I think this lane is over. I'm going to continue to play scared because I don't want to solo lose the game for my team. Is usually what I see top laners do, Darius. But at this point, I've got a plate. I'm back even in CS, despite borderline not CSing at all. Enough gold now to buy some defensive stats. I think I'll back and buy Tabis here. We both have flash down, so there's not any big play coming out in the next little bit. And I also have an experience advantage. I'm level 8 and level 7, and that experience advantage is going to continue to compound throughout the game. Once again, our junglers aren't coming up. You could definitely argue that if I'm hiding under turret the whole time and I have Mord R, probably a jungler would never come to my lane under any circumstances. But also, like, my jungler could in theory come up and destroy this Darius, who has MR into Lethality Graves, and is under my turret. So I think this is a good place to hold the lane. I don't think Graves did anything wrong by not coming top. I don't think Graves should have been coming top here. But that's a distinct possibility. With the amount of stats I have here now, which is mostly just base stats in my passive. I'm getting a little bit better at last hitting, which is something I'm notoriously bad at as a silver player. My gold income is improving a little bit. And I have most of the components for leeching here. I don't really know all the takes on the various Mord items. I personally just don't like Jock Show because I feel like it often procs while I'm in R, which means it's low value. I quite like Riftmaker into, for example, Sejuani, who's probably not going to take a lot of damage unless it's true damage. I really like Leeching Leer, actually. I picked up a strong appreciation from playing AP Volibear top, which is another sort of champion I play because I don't like losing, and it's a champion with a lot of stats. Getting a little bit of sustain in lane can make these lanes a lot easier. Okay, if you're playing top lane and you're not losing, you should be counter jungling. That's my opinion. Ganking mid on Mord is like not a thing that should ever work if the mid laner is doing anything right. Walking into the enemy jungle and having a 2-level advantage over the jungler and being able to just take camps in front of them is something that can absolutely happen. I also now have red buff on me, which is going to give me passive HP regen. I want to talk a little bit about my pathing out of here. Yi spotted me and I saw Darius move. I dropped a ward before I invaded. I took, once again, the sort of maximally conservative path back. I think on my character at this time with my items, I can win the 1v2 into Yi Darius. I was pretty confident I could win that. But I think if I like miss 2 Qs in a row, I give Darius a kill, which is going to give him a ton of XP. I believe he was level 8 when he was coming towards me and then hit level 9 off screen. There's absolutely no reason to fight there, where Yi's there, instead of here, where I have everything up. I can just press R on him in lane and auto-win this exchange. I feel really good about that decision to run away from the Darius and then fight him later on my turns when I had all my skills up, when I knew Master Yi wasn't there, and when I was inside my own creeps. And I win with a pretty considerable HP advantage. I did commit flash there. I like trading flashes with Darius. Darius is, in my experience, semi-regularly land flash Qs on me. Basically, again, I'm not very good at outplaying Darius. If they land a flash Q on me, they gain a lot of HP and are often able to hit ults and kill me. If we both have flash down, it makes the game easier to play for me, and so I'm always happy to do that. Pretty sure I don't finish the turret here, but I'm going to back, and I now finally have Leeching there, so I'll be able to get a little more health back in lane than I was getting from just my W. Right here, what I was thinking is the way I should be thinking, right, if I were more skilled at this game, is, oh, I'm conceding this entire wave, I need to get this wave CS, I probably mismanaged my wave management for this to happen to me. What I wanted to frame that is, I got 28 gold for free. I managed to land a Q on 2 ranged creeps, and get some gold that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise, because I'm going to play scared, because I think that's optimal. So for me, I was thinking that as getting free gold. It was my plan to back there. When I walked back towards the turret, I realized I was 300 gold off of Riftmaker, so I'm overstaying to try and get 300 gold. I'm relying on my XP advantage to keep me alive, even though I haven't been able to spend. And I'm just trying to get all the way up to Riftmaker so that I can stay in lane more comfortably. It's also, right now, taking over to not have plates. I did not want to give Darius 5 plates. It's just as bad to give Darius 2 plates as it is to give Darius a kill. More or less, I think XP matters a lot on Darius, so probably kills are slightly worse. But I don't want a, like Trinity Force Draven Darius running up my Jhin. So I'm not going to give him plates, so he can't build them. It looks to me here like he's building Black Cleaver, which is probably correct. Okay, this is terrible. I'm going to end this trade. This should be a free win for me right here. And then what happens? Darius lands Q, I miss Q. Darius lands Q, I miss Q. And this is why I don't fight Darius. I have played a lot of League of Legends. I usually miss my skill shots, and I usually get hit by skill shots. That's just how it is. The MMR range I'm usually playing at, my impression is the players I'm playing against are mechanically more skilled than me. And since they have better mechanics, that means when they're down 2 levels, I'm probably going to lose the fight. So I pressed R, I tried to survive, and then I ran away. Graves happened to come up, clean up the kill in the turret, and now lane phase is over. I'm up there, I would have died, and it would have been a problem. So that was not a good trade to take. You know, maybe if we're doing counterfactuals, if I land 1 Q or Darius misses 1 Q, I also get the kill. So it was, I had to miss both and get hit by both in order for that trade to go that poorly. But with my build, with my playstyle, I was actually able to survive that. And to me, that's working as intended. At this point, lane phase is over. My philosophy has changed. I'm trying to drop pressure here. I see we have Fed players hitting an inhibitor turret. I want to play as far forward as possible. My deaths are no longer a problem. My philosophy completely changed as soon as this turret went down, which is that now I have to keep Darius in this lane with me, and doing that relatively successfully. I managed to draw 3 top. My team doesn't get anything from it because they're solo queue teammates. And I'm so overstat at this point, I'm still able to return the kill onto the Darius. I had to commit Ignite there, but I missed Q and I just auto-attacked him to death in the middle of all that CC. Just drawing sort of all of the themes here together. My impression of this death is this was a reasonable death. I don't know if it was optimal. I knew it was dangerous to be there. I went there anyways to draw pressure. I did draw pressure. And I think the combination of my playstyle, my build, sort of my laning philosophy contributed to a positive outcome overall for the team. We did get an inhibitor turret, and we got the inhibitor turret before Darius respawned. Right, so they took that inhibitor turret without Darius there. I also wasn't there. Assumption is this will also transition into a Drake. Probably doesn't necessarily transition into all of these things if my team isn't 10,000 gold ahead. I'm guessing I have 1,000 at gold lead or something. But with the turrets down, I think that's the correct way to play top lane. I run right back up top, and I want to get Darius or someone else to come up here and have to deal with me. Now, they don't do that. Looks like we're getting 3v5'd on the bot side right here. Casting off of recording, so I don't want to try and do camera movement. So, I do have to punish here. But this is sort of the part of the gameplay analysis where like nothing makes sense anymore. I don't think your Graves is just supposed to be able to walk up and win a 3v5 by himself, so it doesn't really matter what we do. I'm pretty sure they couldn't have gotten here to defend this turret regardless, once they committed all 5 players to bot side. And I don't think by committing 5 players to bot side they could ever get that dragon. We just had a faster route to it. So, high level, my understanding is, in the sort of like heuristic of where should I be on Mordekaiser, it did make sense to come top here under most game state conditions. I think probably if like every lane is losing or something, maybe you go and fight for the dragons to hope to deny soul. I think if that's happening, again on the flip side, you're just as well off not doing that. And this is the surrender.